Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was living in a new home in November, despite spokesman's claims. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez appears to have moved into her new Bronx apartment a lot earlier than she had led the public to believe. Despite claims from her spokesperson that she moved into a new apartment sometime in mid-February, Ocasio-Cortez last Sunday posted an Instagram live showing her cooking from her home kitchen. The kitchen appears to be the exact same kitchen seen in similar Instagram live videos showing her cooking on November 9, December 27, and January 1. The Instagram live appears to contradict claims made by her spokesperson last week that Ocasio-Cortez moved to a different apartment in the Parkchester section of the Bronx a few weeks ago. In reality, it appears she has been living there for months. Corbin Trent, the Congresswoman's spokesperson, was shown the Instagram live images. He told the New York Post that he was not sure when Ocasio-Cortez made the move. The New Yorker strongly denied a report in the New York Post from last Saturday, which claimed there was scant evidence that she lives in the Bronx condo where she is registered to vote. She lives there, the freshman Congresswoman's spokesman Corbin Trent told Daily Mail. That day, referring to a condo in the Parkchester neighborhood that was owned by Ocasio-Cortez's late father. That's home, period, for her. That's where she gets her energy, her drive. She not only lives there, that's where her heart's at, period, Trent said of the condo. But last Sunday, Trent said she actually lives a block and a half away from the listed address in a two-bedroom apartment with her boyfriend, having made the switch last month. Trent said the 29-year-old was relaxing at her new residence last Sunday afternoon, but he didn't identify the address. She is not living in the exact same condo, but remains in the neighborhood, Trent said. He said that he had worked for Ocasio-Cortez for 2 years, and personally knew she had lived in the condo until recently. Last Sunday, Ocasio-Cortez tweeted in response to a New York Post article questioning her actual address. "I still live in my hood and literally Instagrammed from my apartment tonight," she tweeted. "A man was just arrested last week with a stockpile of guns specifically trying to kill me and others, so yeah, I'm not gonna disclose my personal address or tell people when I move. Sorry." The Congresswoman was referring to Christopher Paul Hassan, the 49-year-old Coast Guard lieutenant who was arrested by federal authorities for allegedly stockpiling weapons to carry out a domestic terror attack. The feds allege that Hassan compiled a hit list that included prominent Democrats, among them Ocasio-Cortez, and journalists. Com reported that Ocasio-Cortez had actually spent much of her youth living in upscale Westchester County, in seeming contrast with the Hard Luck campaign biography touting her Bronx roots. After living in the Parkchester condo until she was around age 5, her family moved to the suburban home for better schools, selling it when her father tragically died of cancer in 2008. But retaining ownership of the Bronx condo. The latest controversy deals with a more recent question: where does Ocasio-Cortez live now? Since 2016, Ocasio-Cortez has listed the Parkchester condo as her residence on voter registration forms. yet the post claims that neighbors down the hall say they have never seen her in the building. "I would have remembered," one resident of 40 years told the Post, saying he'd never seen Ocasio-Cortez or her boyfriend, Raleigh Roberts, who also lists his residence in the unit. Employees at a nearby grocery store and pizzeria told the newspaper that they had never heard of the new famous congresswoman patronizing the businesses, though a server at a nearby taqueria had spotted Ocasio-Cortez once, when she came in for the purpose of being filmed by a news crew. Trent dismisses those claims, saying that while it's always possible someone might not recognize Ocasio-Cortez, she is well known in both the building and the neighborhood. "I've watched her interact with people coming in and out of the building," he told Daily Mail. "She's a frequent fixture in the neighborhood." The mailman who has delivered to the building for a decade also told the Post that mail for her and Roberts piles up in their box for months at a time. The mailman said that no other mail was addressed to the condo, only Ocasio-Cortez and her boyfriend. Trent explained this as a fact of life for a busy candidate and then freshman congresswoman in transition, saying that Ocasio-Cortez had been gone for weeks at a time, in particular during congressional orientation. Meanwhile, Ocasio-Cortez has also drawn criticism because she has yet to open a district office, something the other three freshman representatives from New York have managed to do. Ocasio-Cortez claimed that she wasn't able to take over her predecessor's district office because the landlord wanted to nearly double the rent, to $15,000 a month. "That spike would have meant less caseworkers for our community," she wrote on Twitter. "Instead, we're making a new space with a family business." Instead, she has rented an office space in Jackson Heights, Queens, which is currently under remodeling. Although the Post estimates the cost of that space at nearly $17,000 a month, Trent says the cost will be much lower, and less than the $15,000 her predecessor's space would have cost. Trent said that the new office will open around March 4th. He said that until that time, constituents have a variety of ways to get in touch with the representative, through phone, by mail, and on her U.S.